everybody. Welcome back to the Court of Random Opinion. My name is Lauren Neidigh. I have a couple of things relating to the Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively saga that I want to get into today. I actually saw this first story on Sky News Australia, and I wanted to talk about it because I feel like this piece was pretty hit and miss. I'm interested to hear what other people think about it. So in this video titled, End of Man-bun Feminism, Justin Baldoni's beta persona led to his downfall, a reporter is giving a summary and her thoughts of the article she wrote for the Free Press of the same nature. This journalist argues that the whole case between Justin and Blake is the end of the MeToo movement as well as the end of man-bun feminism. Whatever that is. But I do want to say right out of the bat, one of the things that I thought was a real miss for me in this piece was the fact that she made fun of the man bun. Maybe they didn't know that Justin Baldoni actually grew his hair out to donate it to Locks of Love. And that's an organization that specializes in making wigs for children who lose their hair because of cancer or other medical reasons. Before we watch this, I just want to say, I actually watched Sky News Australia, some of their videos, and I'm not really familiar with this particular journalist. I don't want it to seem like I'm making a value judgment about either one of these women, because I'm not. I just want to talk about two things in this article that I really didn't like. But the article as a whole raised, some interesting points, and I don't think it's all bad. I do want to hear what you guys think.
You've argued it signals the death of man-bun feminism. Explain to my audience what man-bun feminism is in the first place, and how did a man who presented himself, and Justin Baldoni is this man who was this new age, perfect male feminist ally, he's now suing a woman who's accused him of sexual harassment.
So you see the man bun there in full display on your screen. Justin Baldoni literally wrote the book on beta maledom. And this ended up being a key to his downfall here when Blake Lively, sensing his weakness, started to bully him on the set of his own film.
All right, so there are a couple things I don't like there. First and foremost, right out of the gate, you see the man bun thing they're making fun of. And like I said, he grew his hair out so he could cut it off to donate it to kids who lost their hair because of cancer. And I don't really think that's something that should be used out of context to create a caricature or to mock him in any way. Like here, you can see where he had grown his hair out and got it cut off so he could donate to Locks of Love. So you can come across as a little cringy sometimes and still be a good person. And here's actually a video from, I think it's Flight magazine, I might have pronounced it wrong, where he's, you can see him getting his hair cut. And there's his wife and kids. That's kind of cute. Here it says, Justin Baldoni, the star of the hit TV show Jane the Virgin. He plays Raphael Solano, one of the male leads in that show. It's a good show. Recently shared a heartwarming video of himself getting a haircut. In the video, he's surrounded by his loving family as he cuts off several inches of his hair to donate to cancer patients in need. So I guess it's both kids and adults that they help. By donating his hair to cancer patients, Baldoni is helping it to provide a sense of hope and comfort to those who are going through a difficult time. In a world that can often feel overwhelming and chaotic, it is heartening to see people like Baldoni and his family coming together to make a positive impact. So that specific part of the piece, I thought that was kind of a dick move. But second, I know that, male feminists, I'll be honest, as well, like, I think that male feminists a lot of times can be extremely cringy. And we're all cringy sometimes. I'm certainly cringy sometimes. That's not a crime. He didn't do anything wrong by being cringy. I also think that's totally subjective personal opinion. I'm not saying the guy is a cringy person as a whole. I'm just saying this male feminist thing, sometimes I just feel like it's a lot. I don't know. But calling someone a beta male, that's cringy. So if you want to talk about how cringy someone is, maybe don't be so cringy while you're doing it. I don't hear a lot of people say beta male unironically. I've never called anyone a beta unless I was intentionally trying to joke around with them. The whole alpha beta male thing, it's just kind of ick. Men, like women, they have different personality types. And you don't have to be one type of man to do any good in the world. And you don't have to be one type of man to be a good person. You don't have to be one type of man for, women to be attracted to you. I mean, for me, yeah, because I'm, clearly gay, but it's not the bun that would scare me off, and it's not because he's a beta. It's because my entire aesthetic is lesbian gym teacher. No man bun will cross this threshold. Not that anyone asks, so I'm gonna stop talking about that. A beta male, from my understanding, is just somebody who's a little more passive. They might even be submissive, not like a dominant personality, not like a dominant person. It's just So when I hear that term thrown in to insult men, I'm kind of like, this is immediately off-putting. But hey, that's just me. You guys let me know what your perspective on that is in the comments.
Because what we really see here, Rita, is that the problem with the Me Too movement, the problem with Believe All Women, is that the relationship between sexuality and power is very, very complicated. It cannot be.
Now, personally, I kind of agree that Believe All Women is a problematic thing because some women do lie. And people will try to argue that it's a low percentage and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen, and it doesn't mean that the male victims who are on the receiving end of these false allegations and the way it ruins their life, it doesn't mean they don't matter. I don't automatically jump to disbelief in these situations, but I do think there are times when it's a good idea to withhold some judgment. And I don't go into too much detail about this because it's a deeply personal situation. However, it is relevant to what we're talking about right now. I'm a woman who is with another woman, and this was a long time ago, but she became heavily addicted to drugs. Her behavior became highly concerning and bizarre. She would say anything and everything to get what she needed from people or what she wanted from people, and she accused me of doing some really terrible things that I would absolutely never do, ever, under any circumstances. So I gotta ask, how are you gonna believe all women in that situation? And I know that most relationships aren't lesbian relationships, so, like, that's not a super common occurrence. However, having gone through that experience, you can't convince me that women don't make false claims. Not all of them, not most of them, but some do. And it is extremely hard to be on the receiving end of that when you didn't do anything to deserve it. Like I said, that was a long time ago, and I was nothing of a public figure at all, so it's like, it didn't really, get around or anything like that. It's just, I had this weird sense of shame, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. And I could have easily proven that what she said wasn't true because we weren't even in the same place at the same time. So all that's to say, I do agree with this journalist in some points where she's like kind of alluding to the fact that, it's more complicated than Believe All Women. Some of the Me Too blueprint is actually very flawed and can do a lot of damage to a lot of innocent people. People forget to have sympathy for that because they're like, well, it doesn't happen as often as, well, it still matters. We still need to pay attention to that.
And as much as of a beta male he is, and we've heard some of the calls he plays to Blake Lively. Some of these.
And Rita on the left here in the kind of teal jacket, she's with Sky News Australia, and I actually watch a lot of her segments. I'm just saying, when she uses the term beta, I'm just kind of like, no, Rita, no.
These recorded calls, and oh gosh, it is cringeworthy just how over the top he is with this male feminist ally narrative.
She's talking about the voice note that Justin had sent to Blake, and I actually had the same kind of opinions on that. I thought there was a lot of placating going on in that voice note. I thought it was a little cringeworthy. I was like, you're doing a lot right now, but I didn't find it to be manipulative, intrusive, abusive, weird, or creepy in any way, shape, or form. I'm just kind of like, I wish he would stop doing too much. And I understand why he went about things the way he did. That has to be a horrible, stressful situation to be working in, and I can't imagine how I would handle it if I actually had to deal with it myself. So, trying not to judge too hard, but at the same time, it's like, I do want to be honest that I did find that a little bit cringy. He does seem like a good person, though. Like I said, that's totally subjective opinion. Like, other people aren't going to feel the same way. That's fine. Anyways, what do you guys think about it? Next, I want to talk about Justin Baldoni's lawyer's response to Blake Lively's amended complaint. These quotes are from an article in People magazine. He criticized the complaint, stating it had a lack of actual evidence. And that's what a lot of us were saying and thinking. I don't know if you guys who are watching this now were with us the other night. As soon as this amended complaint dropped on the docket, we went live a little after midnight, and for almost 5 hours we were reading that complaint, and there was a really glaring lack of evidence. Lots of claims being made with no actual screenshots to back any of it up. All in all, there were just a lot of problems with it. And my friend Omar, who had joined us to read that complaint live, actually did a live stream on his channel last night where he went over some legal analysis, because he's an attorney out in California. All right, here's some more of what Brian Friedman, the attorney for Justin Baldoni, had to say. Her underwhelming amended complaint is filled with unsubstantial hearsay of unnamed persons who are clearly no longer willing to come forward or publicly support her claims, Friedman said, adding that his clients have been transparent in providing receipts, real-time documents, and video showing a completely different story than what has been manipulated and cherry-picked to the media. Since documents do not lie, and people do, the upcoming depositions of those who initially supported Ms. Lively's false claims and those who are witnesses to her own behavior will be enlightening, Friedman added. What is truly uncomfortable here is Miss Lively's lack of actual evidence. And in the week or two before this amended complaint came out, I had gone over some of the other court documents. And in those documents, they did drop a line or two about other people having made HR complaints or just general complaints against Justin Baldoni, other members of the cast and crew. However, they did not provide any names or any real context or any evidence to that. So there really is just no supporting evidence at this point. I know those HR complaints that were circulated on social media the other day, we went over those. I know they were allegedly, from multiple casts. However, they seemed very fake. Those documents really did seem like some sort of weird, possibly AI fan fiction or something. It was just strange. The dates were redacted, the names were redacted, and they were allegedly filed to Sony, and Sony has actually said there were no complaints that were filed against Justin Baldoni, so it just doesn't add up. Plus, we had one of the editors who worked with Justin on It Ends With Us come forward in the comments of Perez Hilton's video and say, "I can assure you none of this is true." And I'm paraphrasing, those might not have been her exact words, but I do have a video where I read that comment the other day. So right now we have nobody who's really come forward and said that Justin, had any sort of misconduct towards them except for Blake. So it's really her word at this point is all we have. But on the other hand, we have someone who actually worked with Justin on that film, no less, making a public statement to kind of support his side of the story and speak to his character. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about other cast and or crew allegedly making complaints about Justin. Personally, I'm not buying it. And lastly, in case you missed it yesterday, we have an update on the subpoena issue. Now, Justin Baldoni's side has argued against the subpoenas for phone records, saying they were extremely overly broad. They called them broad, invasive, and atypical. Some of the cell providers had already indicated an intent to comply with the subpoenas. The judge has now ordered that the parties have to meet and confer about this issue on Monday, February 24th, which is just a few days from now. And then they have to report back to the court as to whether the court can deny the motion as moot or whether any dispute remains for the court's decision. Notably, the Lively parties cannot move to enforce the subpoenas while the motion is pending. Alright, that's it for this morning, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button as it really helps my channel out. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you very soon.